everyone and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be trying out loads of Shein makeup. So if you don't know, their brand of makeup is called SheGlam, and I've got, I'd say, pretty much a full face of their makeup, and I just thought I would try it all out for the first time. So the first thing I'm going to be trying out from Shein is their SheGlam 12-hour full coverage concealer, and I did actually do quite a big haul from Shein, so if you want to go and check out all of the other products I picked up, I will leave that video in the description. But this I picked up in the shade Vanilla, and to be honest, on the website it did look a little bit darker than it actually looks in the tube, so I am concerned this is going to be a little bit too light, but I do quite like the packaging. It does look quite sleek, just got like this metallic looking lid and then the name on the tube itself. The applicator is just really like your standard kind of applicator, and yeah, it looks like it's quite a good consistency. Okay, it actually looks less, maybe it doesn't look less pale on my skin. It's quite thick. I think I've definitely put a bit too much on here, so let's try and spread it around a little bit. And I'm gonna grab my sponge and see how this blends in. Okay, it definitely is blending in really nicely, which is good because I've definitely got too much on my under eye. Yeah, I would say that's blending pretty well. So I think I've just got a bit too much on, so I'm gonna have to be here for a little while getting it all blended in. And I think, to be honest, I probably could have got a slightly darker shade, but if it doesn't work out as a concealer for me, I'll probably just use it as an eye base, to be honest. I do think that's actually blended in pretty well. It does just say on the package here, this is their 12-hour full coverage concealer. It has a soft and matte finish, which I would agree with that. This 12-hour perfection provides you with a medium to full coverage that corrects all unwanted imperfections on all skin tones. So I've just done my setting powder, and I think the concealer has actually set really nicely. I think it's definitely like evened up the kind of coloration of it, and I'm really happy with that actually. So the next thing I have to try from Shein is their Expert eyebrow gel, and this just says tame and frame your brows with the SheGlam Expert eyebrow gel. It doesn't actually say it's available in 8 shades, but I went for this taupe shade, and when I unboxed this in like my haul video, I was a bit concerned this is going to be a bit light again, but the darker shades just looked way too dark on the website. So it is this kind of quite light brown. I'm hoping that I can just kind of build it up in my brows. So the brush is actually a bit, I'd say, bigger than my normal eyebrow brush. It is. The bristles itself do look quite thin though. I think I could do with the brush being a little bit smaller just to get better precision. I don't think it's too bad. Again, I definitely could do with this being a darker shade, but it doesn't not work. To be honest, I don't think it's really made an awful lot of difference to my eyebrows. I don't hugely like how my brows looking compared to the other one, but there we go. I think, yeah, darker shade, slightly smaller applicator brush probably would have been onto a winner here. Okay, and this is the next product I have to try from Shein, and this is the Lilac SheGlam 3D Pro Face Palette. So I thought when I bought this and when I actually unboxed it, that this is all just highlighter shades, but apparently not. This is what the actual palette looks like. So the pan size is actually pretty massive. I think the packaging itself is just, it's quite simple, quite nice, quite sleek. It's just this cardboard packaging. So it's apparently 1 highlighter, a setting powder and 2 contouring shades, but they're all really shimmery. I don't think I'd want to use any of these as a setting powder or as contour shades. I just assume they're all like highlighters. I said it actually reminded me a little bit of the Jeffree Star Cavity palette with this kind of champagne colour and then these more pinky shades. So I think I'm going to give this one here a go, because this is more similar to like a highlighter shade that I would use. So it has picked up onto the brush quite nicely, and yeah, it's definitely very pigmented and nice and shiny. Hopefully you can see. I don't know, the lighting's probably not great because it's so gloomy out there, but there's a nice little shift of sparkle there. But I'm pretty impressed with that actually. I wasn't sure how pigmented this was going to be, considering it's obviously quite an inexpensive product. Yeah, I think this is a really gorgeous shade actually. Like I said, it's definitely this champagne shade, the most similar to highlighter shade that I'd normally use, but definitely excited to give the others a go. So I don't think I'm going to be using them as like contour and setting powders and all of that, because I just can't see how that would work, because you would just look so shiny because they're all shimmering. Okay, so that is my face done. Been pretty happy actually with the product so far, probably apart from the eyebrow gel I wasn't 100% keen on, but I did order quite a few eyeshadow palettes. I think I ordered like 5 eyeshadow palettes. I'll have to check out my other video to find out which ones, but I've decided for today I'm going to try out this one. This is the SheGlam Deep Feelings palette, and again, I do quite like the packaging. It is a really big palette. I thought for the prices these were going to be quite small, but they've definitely all been like a lot bigger than I anticipated. The packaging is much the same as the face palette, just this like cardboard packaging, and it's got 9 shades in, but the pan sizes are absolutely massive. So there's quite a nice little range here of greys, browns, just kind of everything you need for a smoky eye. I'm probably going to go a bit more grey today, and yeah, I just thought this would be a really fun one to try out. I think the shades have all got really quite fun names as well. So we've got Tundra, Hazy Morning, Smoke Show, Toasted Hazelnut, In My Orbit, Decadence, that nice chocolate brown, Abyss, Hidden Gem and Silver Fox. So yeah, I definitely think the shade names do relate to the actual shades, which is always a good start. But interested to see how pigmented these are, how they apply, how they blend, because yeah, this is a very cheap palette, and sometimes cheap is fine, sometimes cheap is not fine. So first up, I'm going to use shade Hazy Morning, which is quite a light grey, looks quite nice, got this biggish brush here. This is just like a grey matte shade, so it's gone on the brush quite nicely actually. There's quite a lot on there and I haven't really dabbed it in too much. So I have got Beauty Bay eye base down, so hopefully this will go well. I will say it's very pigmented, especially for a grey. I'm quite impressed so far. It's definitely coming out really nicely. I'd say I probably had to put on a couple of layers just to build it up, but it's a really lovely grey. It's definitely very similar to how it looks in the pan as well, which is excellent. Doesn't feel chalky, not really getting any fallout. Even in the palette itself, there's not a lot of fallout as well, which is really great. But I think that's a really pretty shade. I actually really like how that looks. I'm going to go in next with shade Smoke Show, which is a slightly dark, almost it's a bit like a bluey grey, but I'm going to pop that on the outer part of my eye, and then I'll just finish things off with one of those shimmers, although I haven't quite decided which one yet. This again has gone onto the brush really easily, and again it's just applying really easily and is super pigmented, which is great. So let's try and get this blended. So perhaps not the easiest to blend, but by no means the most difficult. Definitely see a bit more of that bluey grey now it's on the eye, but it's a great shade, very pigmented, and certainly for the price I'm very impressed. Okay, so there's both eyes kind of done, and I will say maybe not like the easiest shades to blend. It did take a little while, but I did get there in the end, and I'm really happy with how it's now looking. I'm just going to finish off the top lid with one of the shimmers, and I think I'm going to go with shade Tundra, which is this light kind of silver shimmer. I'm going to apply it with my finger, I think, because it always seems to work best for shimmers. So quite a bit has got on. I'd say like semi-buttery. Okay, wow, it is definitely very, very sparkly. That is really, actually, a really lovely shade. I'm really quite impressed with that. Actually, I'm gonna get that just buffed out slightly. Quite a bit of fallout actually from this, but I'm so impressed with that. That is such a really pretty shade. Applies really lovely and yeah, I think very striking. I'm actually so impressed with that. I didn't have high hopes for the shimmers, but I didn't know they were going to perform quite that well. The only thing is there's quite a bit of fallout, but that's just easy to sort out just with a clean makeup brush anyway. So I'm just going to finish off the under eye. I'm going to use probably the same two shades, Hazy Morning and Smoke Show, just to get that finished. So this is Hazy Morning, just applying quite nicely, and then just a little bit of Smoke Show on the outer edge. So the next makeup from Shein I have to try out is actually a mascara, and they did have quite a good selection of mascaras on the website, I actually do have to say, but I opted to go for this Max Impact mascara. This says it's an extreme volumizing mascara. It does say that this is waterproof and smudge proof, and I did open this up and have a look. So it's got this very nice kind of pearlescent baby pink packaging, and then it's just obviously got the writing on there, and then the wand itself I actually think looks really quite nice. It reminds me of my Colourpop Act Natural mascara wand, and looking in the brush, it looks like quite a good amount of mascara has gone on here. It doesn't look too dry or too wet. So fingers crossed this is going to be pretty good. So it is definitely coating my lashes pretty well. The wand is a really good size. I'm glad it's not any big. I think if it was too much bigger, I probably wouldn't be able to get into those like little corner lashes. I wouldn't say it's giving necessarily extreme volume, probably not the best mascara that I own, but it is certainly pretty decent, and again for the price I can't really complain too much. I think it just dries a little bit too quickly actually to really get a good amount on. So there is obviously one eye done and one eye not done. It's actually done a pretty good job considering that was just like one dip in the mascara. It was a couple of coats with it, but I think it's looking pretty good. So the only downside is that it does dry quite quickly. So the actual wand size is good, and like the design of it I think is good. It does really kind of capture all of your lashes. It just dries a bit too quick, and I don't know, you probably could end up with it being quite clumpy if you're trying to apply a couple of layers of this. But yeah, I'm definitely happy. Definitely a mascara that I'm going to keep using anyway. I've now done the mascara on both eyes, and to be honest, yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with it. So on next to my lips, I did have a few things to pick from. I actually had a lip oil, a lipstick and a liquid lipstick. I've opted to try today the lip oil. So this is the She Glam Jelly Wow Hydrating Lip Oil. I think the packaging is quite fun. I like that this is all actually embossed. So it does say for this, ditch the gloss and reach for our moisturising non-sticky lip oil instead. We infused its innovative formula with antioxidant strawberry extract, hyaluronic acid and squalane to deliver a healthy moisturising shine that feels divine. So I think there was like 3 or 4 of these to pick from. I went for the berry one, and it is actually berry scented, which I think is great. So that's what the actual lip oil looks like. This is like, I don't know how to explain this material. It's almost like a matte material, like kind of soft, and I like that you can see all the oil, and the applicator actually looks massive in here. I swear it's like magnified in the jelly, but it does smell really nice and berry, and it is quite a thick formula actually. It definitely looks really like jelly in here rather than an oil. So let's see how we go. I don't know if this has actually got any colour to it, whether it is a subtle pink or whether it is just like see-through. But it does go onto my lips really nicely actually. Feels very soft, very hydrating. Yeah, it doesn't feel too sticky sticky either. It definitely does feel more like an oil now. It's on my lips rather than like a jelly or a gloss. So I suppose I'll just see how I get on with this throughout the day. And now on to the final thing, which is actually something that I really needed. It's a setting spray. So this looks humongous. This is the SheGlam Sunday Picnic Setting Spritz, and it's in this little like gingham box. It's actually part of like a bigger collection. I think they've got like some lip products and eyeshadow palette. But I just really needed the setting spray, and I think actually this was the only setting spray at least I could find on Shein anyway. I have obviously opened this but I haven't used it. I think the packaging of the actual like container is really cool. So it actually comes in this almost like a snow globe, and it's got like the gingham print on it still. I think it's really nice. It says Sunday Picnic, and then you take the lid off and then it's just got obviously the spritzer here. So it does look quite thick again here. It looks almost like jellyish rather than like a liquid. So I don't know how this is going to like spritz out, whether it's going to spritz out as a mist. I don't think I can smell any grape just yet. Okay, I definitely got the grape that time. Yeah, it does come out as a liquid. It does smell like very like synthetic grape, like it smells like grape sweets or like grape juice as opposed to like a grape, but I'm not against the fragrance of it. It's dried very quickly. I feel that the actual mist itself didn't really get on my whole face, so that's probably the only downside. I'd have to definitely like move it around to get my whole face covered. But yeah, I'll just have to see how I get on with this throughout the day, whether this is going to hold my makeup actually in place. I don't think it's made my face look any different to normal, but I don't know, it's a bit of fun and it's just something that I needed. Well, so that was everything, or pretty much all of the makeup I bought from Shein tested out, and I'm actually really happy with how the look itself has turned out. I think if I had to pick a couple of favourite products, I've definitely been really impressed with the eyeshadow palette, and I'm definitely even more excited to try out the other ones I purchased because hopefully they're just as good. I was also really happy with the Jelly Wow lip oil. I was surprised at how jellyish it looked in the actual tube, but came out feeling and looking like an oil. And also I was really surprised with the concealer because I thought it was going to be far too light, and I don't know, it's actually worked out really nicely, so I'm really happy with that. Only things I've not been too massively impressed by, probably the eyebrow gel. I think that's probably my fault though, because I should have got a darker colour had they not all looked black, or I don't know, seen someone else using them. I would have definitely gone for one darker. And maybe like the face palette, because the highlighters look great and they are, but I don't think I would be using it to like set my makeup or contour. So I feel like if they just sold it as a highlighter palette, that would have been absolutely fine. But yeah, I've definitely been really impressed, and yeah, I think everything pretty much has surpassed my expectations. I will link everything in the description, and I'll also link my actual haul video because there are a few extra bits that I bought that you didn't see today, so definitely check that out. But let me know what you thought about the look, what you thought about the products, whether you've tried any SheGlam makeup and what you thought, or if you've got any recommendations, I'd really love to know. But thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give the video a big thumbs up, leave me a comment, and if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you again in my next video.